Hi everyone, back once again to talk about this time the rudder pedals that you can use with the HOTAS for the PlayStation 4. Now currently these will only work with this particular joystick, which is the T-Flight HOTAS 4, and this is the joystick that's officially the only supported one for the PS4. But these two will work together with them being the same make, and you don't need a separate place to plug them in. They just plug directly into the joystick itself through a little cable, and I'll show you that in a second. Alright, so I've got the pedals out here, and this is the cable. I mean, it's quite long. I don't know who has legs this long. I think it's about 2 meters in total. I don't know why you would need a 2 meter long cable, but there you go, you've got it, so I guess you can hide it. And then these are the pedals, dead simple, just push forward, and I'll slide along these little metal rails here. I mean, the construction seems to be quite sturdy. I've put them through a fair bit of abuse. You can also press down on them, so airplane sense that would be like brakes, but you can just bind those to anything you want within some games. Now what you might find is when you've got the headset on, it's like, how do you reset it back to the center? Well, it should kind of do it itself, and when you're actually playing games you can feel this like lock, so you know where the center is when you're in the neutral position, and that's quite useful. So you don't have to lift up your visor, have a look, see what your feet are doing at that particular moment in time. The other thing I will point out is they do have these little rubber bits on the bottom, so they don't slip around too much on my carpet, they don't move that much. On some floors I guess it might change a bit, but overall they seem to be fairly good. Obviously these work with Valkyrie. It's a game I spent quite a lot of time playing with the PSVR, so primarily what I got them for. I wouldn't say it's made me a better pilot per se. It's probably the equivalent of picking up a joystick from fresh all over again. It's kind of like learning how to walk. It's a whole different way to play. You know, you've spent a lot of time getting your thumbs working for you, using your hands in video games. Adding your feet to it's quite weird. I'd compare it to almost like ice skating. It's like an extra form of exercise, but on a whole it does feel a lot more fluid when you're flying, and I find it to be quite a lot more enjoyable. Albeit I'm not the best pilot anymore. Not that I ever really was, but you know what I mean. I feel like I've kind of reset myself, gone back to starting all over again. But at the same time, I'm just having a lot of fun using these pedals, and flight feels a whole lot more organic. And you can see here, I'm just flying around these structures, and you know, like being able to roll myself and fit into the gaps. I set mine up so that I was using the pedals as yaw, which from an airplane perspective is traditional, but you don't have to roll with that. You could use them for roll if that's what you wanted to do with Valkyrie. I can't speak for other games, I don't know how they're going to operate within those. I know there's a couple of other PS games that do support them. So you've got like War Thunder as a standard, and on the PSVR you've got Ultra Wings, and you can use the rudder pedals along with the flight stick itself. Now, I know the deal with Ultra Wings is it's all about using the moves, and it's quite cool flicking switches and getting your hands on the controls and waving them around, and they have said they do want to support just the pedals with the moves, but they're not sure how they're going to get all that to work. So at the moment, as at the time I made this video, that hasn't been sorted out as of yet, I don't think, but it's something the developer has stated they've got an interest in. I guess the difficulty they'll really have is you'll have your joystick plugged in and the pedals, but then you'll be trying not to use the joystick, you'll be using something else. So in terms of like an input, you're using two different inputs to try and do the same job. Might be a bit confusing with the system, but we'll see what they come up with. You know, been pretty good, pretty resourceful in delivering the patches. And another title I'm hoping they're going to support this is Ace Combat 7 when that comes out. We do know it's going to support the HOTAS. They've already stated there's going to be native HOTAS support, but I'm hoping that's also going to include these rudder pedals. I mean, how awesome would this game be if you could strap your PSVR on, get in there, feel like you're in a cockpit, and not only have the joystick control but also those rudder pedals. I mean, this game looks pretty amazing anyway. I don't know if you've been checking out any of the footage of this. If you're into flight sim stuff, it looks quite arcadey, but at the same time it's sitting you in these like F-15s or various other crazy airplanes. Don't even know what's all in it. We just know it looks quite insane. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping that the devs are aware that these rudder pedals are a thing and that they're going to work. The drivers are already built into the PlayStation 4, so personally I would be surprised if they're not in there day one, and if they're not in there day one, I'm fairly sure that they'll get patched in as support at some point. So, fingers crossed. Overall, are the rudder pedals worth it? I would say so. You know, I've been enjoying them. If you like playing flight sims and you've got the joystick and you're looking for that full experience, then yeah, you're going to want to pick up these rudder pedals at some point. But at the same time, if you want to be the most competitive player out there, getting the rudder pedals isn't necessarily going to give you that edge. It's just going to give you an alternative way to play. It's really down to how you feel, the choice you want to make. I don't regret picking these up. I've been having a whale of a time using these, and I would highly recommend them to anybody else. And fingers crossed we'll get that support for games like Ace Combat when that comes out. I'm the Goat. Thanks for watching.